everyone, it's Emma from Gathering Beauty here. Welcome to my very first YouTube tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make these really cute shadow box frames using cardstock or scrapbook paper. I got this gallery art pad from TK Maxx a couple of weeks ago. It's got 8 sheets of art prints in a variety of shapes and sizes that you can cut out and then mix and match with your own photos to create a gallery wall. I think it's a great idea, so I wanted to show you how to make your own custom frames to display these or similar art prints in. So here you can see I'm using my paper trimmer to cut out my chosen prints. The frame I'm going to be making in this video is for a 5x7 inch print, but don't worry about writing any measurements down as I'm going to include these and all the other frame sizes in the blog post below. Here you can see I'm gathering all my supplies. I've got my 3 prints, I've got some double-sided cardstock. The cardstock I'm using is the Market Street collection from My Mind's Eye. I've got my Martha Stewart scoreboard, bone folder, some double-sided tape and a pair of scissors. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we need to do is make 4 score lines, each 1/2 inch apart. So starting at the 1/2 inch mark, we're going to score down, then at the 1 inch mark, the 1.5 inch mark and the 2 inch mark. On the other side, we're going to score at the 8 inch mark, the 8.5 inch mark, the 9 inch mark, the 9.5 inch mark, and finally the 10 inch mark. Rotate your paper 90 degrees, and we're going to start off in exactly the same way. So we score at the 1/2 inch mark, the 1 inch mark, the 1.5 inch mark, and then the 2 inch mark. You need to allow 1/2 inch around each side of your photo or print for your frame to wrap around. So this time we're going to start scoring at the 10 inch mark. So here we are scoring at the 10 inch, the 10.5 inch, the 11, the 11.5 inch, and if your paper has a little extra piece like mine does, you want to score at the 12 inch mark as well. So for this next step, you need to make 2 extra score lines. Starting at the 2.5 inch mark, you need to score down 1 inch to meet the second score line down, and then on the other side we need to score at the 7.5 inch mark. Rotate your paper 180 degrees, and we're going to do exactly the same on the opposite side, this time scoring at the 4.5 inch mark and the 9.5 inch mark. The next thing we need to do is trim away any excess paper, and this next part can be a bit tricky, so I'm going to show you exactly where you need to cut so you know how to do it. So we're going to cut down that short score line to the second score line down. We're going to cut diagonally across to the third, down to the 4th, and then all the way across. So all this part you see me shading in now, this is the part we need to cut away, and we're going to do the same on all 4 corners. So here you can see I'm cutting down to the second score line, cutting diagonally across to the 3rd, down to the 4th, and then all the way across. And we're going to do the same on all 4 corners. Next we need to fold along all the score lines and make sure the folds are nice and crisp, and again we're going to do this on all 4 sides. Okay, so flip your card over and we want to stick some double-sided tape following along that first score line. So don't stick the tape down to the edge of the paper, but follow along that first score line instead. You're going to get a better idea on this close-up in a second. So here you can see the tape runs along that score line and not the edge of the paper. And you want to do the same on all 4 sides. I'm using this really strong red double-sided tape, but it can be a little tricky, so be careful. Like once it's stuck, you can't reposition it. Okay, so flip your card over again, and this time you want to stick 4 small pieces of tape to each diagonal corner. Okay, so now we're ready to start putting our frame together. So peel the backing off the double-sided tape, take your first side and fold the flap in half, fold it again, this time wrap it around, press down firmly, make sure everything's secured in place, pop it up, and that's your first side done. So we need to do exactly the same on the opposite side. So take the flap, fold it in half, wrap it around, press down firmly, and then pop up. So for the last two sides, you need to do this a little bit differently. You can't fold it like the first two, as the sides will get in the way, so you need to roll it into a tube instead. So remove the backing off the double-sided tape, make sure to get those two small pieces on the inside, and then take your bottom flap and roll it into a tube shape. The side should naturally fall into place as you roll it. Make sure to press everything in, make sure it's all stuck and secured, get those side corners, and then we're going to do exactly the same on the last piece. So we're peeling the backing off those inside pieces, and then we're going to take that piece and we're going to roll it into a tube. Make sure it's all stuck, press down firmly. The last step is to secure your photo or print in place using some more double-sided tape or some glue. And that's it, you're all done. You've got a really cute shadow box frame that you can customise to go with any theme and display in your wall. I hope you love these as much as I do. I've got mine hanging next to my desk and they really help brighten up what used to be a boring blank spot on my wall. Don't forget you can find all the measurements for this and the other frames you can see now over on my blog, as well as the list of supplies. Thanks so much for watching, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.